got you no matter what.
But I don't need your help. I've advised you, verbally
Roger
told
that.
you.
That's
when
fine.
you were 10
and you
feet
know
away,
what?
and you kept
I
coming
would have went
towards
to
me.
I would have took off
When
and
you
went
were
to
like
Starbucks and
15
got a
feet
cup.
away.
I would have took off, went to Starbucks and got a cup. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to tell you what I always used to say when I used to work in the streets. You know what? I can't speak, and I can't feel what you feel.
So why did you?
Let me finish.
See what I
Let
mean?
me finish.
You guys are predators, bro. Exactly. Nobody called. Who called you?
You're not letting me
So
finish.
who called you?
You're not letting me
But
finish.
that was my question. That was your question, right? Who called you?
Did I let you speak?
But nobody called you.
Can
I speak? Can I say something? Because I feel like
he doesn't understand. Can we get a little protocol
when he
here,
started
the
off
Q&A,
with.
where he talks and then I talk?
Yeah,
Because
one
he's
second.
not letting me talk.
Okay, you can respond, and then
Okay.
I want to hear from Star, and then we have to go to the next
And
round.
can you just please let me finish? Okay.
I mean, I'm answering the valid points validly, you know. I'm just saying.
You're not letting me. You know what? Disregard.
it's good. We don't
You're not
gotta
letting
agree,
me
but
finish
you know,
what
I
I'm
gotta
saying.
say like.
What I'm trying
But
to.
you
what
gotta
I'm
have more
trying-
patience as a police officer.
Well, no, it's-
You just got a quick snap, and I can see it.
You always gotta be right, like,
No,
you-
I'm
you-
just
you don't
used to
always gotta be
argue. When
right.
I argue, I always
think
let
that
the
I think he
person
made a
speak
valid
as much
point,
as you
like,
can.
I think he just
and
wanted
then once.
the crime that was committed, like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a cop. I saw the cops. I grew up in the 90s, so they would give baseball cards, and I thought the cops were the coolest things because I had like.
Shit, I wasn't even looking at my computer.
Real bad childhood, like with my parents, and I didn't really have friends like that. But the cops would be there. But the second I got my lowrider bike, like the cops would pull me over and give me tickets, and I'd be like, why don't you stop them over there? It's like, well, we're stopping you. How are we gonna stop them? And then I would get tickets constantly. I was just a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I liked the lowrider culture, and they would give me tickets all the time. Then my parents would be like, why are you getting tickets? Like, I'm like, I don't know. They just keep stopping me. And then like maybe I'll ditch school, and the cops will like, you know, like sometimes they'll get me from a certain neighborhood and drop me off in like far away from my house, like, or sometimes, and I was a minor, and they'll get me from the streets and take me to the police station, which I found out later was illegal. And they made me to who I am, and they made me think that I was a bad guy until like I realized almost like 13 years ago, I don't got to be that bad guy no more. But the cops made me who I was.
And I'll share, like, I've never served any time like that. I was arrested as a 13-year-old. You know, literally, I still looked like I was 10. I was smoking weed at the park, and I got immediately apprehended, taken into custody. I got handcuffed behind my back, and then I got placed in a cop car with no divider. It was like a park cop, you know, so no divider. And then when he started asking me about my name and stuff. So I was like the adolescent phases. I didn't want to answer him. I didn't have to.
Why not though?
He's a minor.
Because I'm a minor. You don't have to interrogate me without my parents.
You don't have the right to talk to them.
That's incorrect. You committed a crime.
See, but I mean, you know.
But I don't think you're well.
All right,
I don't think you're well versed.
One second.
One second, gotcha.
So without the barrier, and he kept asking me questions, and I just simply didn't want to answer him. I didn't have to at that point, you know. So he got upset that I didn't, you know, volunteer with whatever his demands were, and he just punched me in the chest as a handcuffed 13-year-old kid, knocked the wind out of me, whatever, you know. It went as far as violating my rights. I never even knew that I could have told his commanding officers or even the watch commander once I got to the jail, yo, this guy like sucker punched me in the chest, like he knocked the wind out of me, he abused me, he abused a minor. I didn't know any of that. Now that I'm an adult, because I'm a felon, because of course that, you know, escalated into more things like gay marijuana, and marijuana was hella illegal back then. I'll be damned if you guys mess with me like all over again, and that has happened to me.
I get it.
That's why I got road flares in my car. That's why I keep like a kit. You know?
I get it.
I cross all my T's and dot all my I's, dude.
Criminals who commit violent felonies don't deserve certain legal rights.
You know what? I'm sorry, I can't do this. I can't do this episode no more. It's not making any sense. The questions just don't make sense to me. I can't really get my point across how I want to. And the questions are kind of like reversed. Like it's like you're asking the question, but you kind of. I can't do it.
I totally understand.
I can't do it.
You can always share whether you agree or disagree.
Well, everybody's talking over each other. And I can't be on camera doing it.
I totally
I'm trying
understand.
to get my point across that the police, you know what I mean? But I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that, and I can even get my point across. There's no point in me being here.
So
I'm out of here.
Can we take a smoke break then?
Let's take a smoke break.
Oh, I can? Oh, yes.
I fear the other side. Step forward if you agree.
You know, I think it's part of their job to put fear in us, but it shouldn't. You know, every time just for a traffic ticket or just being stopped on the street, it was always like guns drawn right away. you know, and every time they point their guns at me, especially towards my back when I'm not even looking, like it just gives
Fucking
me
homo.
this fear. Like, and then not only that, they like to manhandle you. They like to like grip on your knuckles when you I already know the procedure. I spread my legs and I try to do everything right, and they still try to manhandle you each time. They try to like hold you so you could react and do something. It's like that. It's like their job is to incriminate us. And for every traffic ticket, it was always like I always had my driver license, my insurance. So every time they would come at me, I'll start cursing them out. Like that was me. That was my whole. From ever since I turned 18 to I was like 30, I was just cursing them out every chance I get, and I'll love it because they'll give me a ticket each time, and I'll be like, okay, like I don't care, like I'm paying for my freedom, and that was the cost of my freedom. But I did fear for my life each time. Every time like they manhandle me and talk down to me, all I would think about was my kids. Like them, if my kids wanted to see how these people act, because my kids look up to me, but to see the cops like act this way and then laugh about it, you know, who are these people? Like they bring fear to the community. They don't bring any peace or nothing like that. You know, and that's how I grew up. I grew up with so much aggression towards the cops, like so much aggression until I realized, you know what, I'm not who they made me to be.
I have a dangerous job, just like how you have children. I don't know if everybody has children. I want to go home to see my children, so I don't necessarily fear the other side. I just fear what could happen if I let my guard down while I'm doing my job. And that's it. Once you start off aggressive, I kind of have to match that because in the back of my head, why are you being aggressive? I have to understand, hey, he's being aggressive for some reason. I don't want to die. I don't want you to die. You don't want to die. I would hope that you don't want me to die. And we just meet in the middle right there.
Yeah, actually, back then I would hope a car hits them or something because the cops will come out with their guns drawn. It wasn't even no like I'll just be spooked and once they come to me, I'll be like, you motherfucker. Like I'll just go off on them.
In my younger days, like I never just pointed my gun for no reason, but I was, you know, what the, what, oh, whoa. Now it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's just interesting how all you guys stayed back there and didn't come. And I think you guys decided to come and show that you do have fear, but I don't think you guys really fear us. You know, the way we fear you. You keep saying that it's not you, and he's gonna keep saying that it's not him. So who is it? Nobody?
As if it's black and white. Do I fear you? No. I don't even know you to fear you.
I signed up for the fact that one day I'm going to get shot. And 20 plus years ago, I couldn't agree with you more. I totally understand that brutality and how we treat people, we treat them like shit. I get that. Fast forward 25 years ago, because of all that treatment that we did, now you have ambushes. You know, you got situations where suspects, you know, people are coming up at cops and just executing them. And you know, so when the prompt says, you know, do I fear the other side? Well, yeah, I mean, the other side is someone who wants to take my life out and doesn't even know me. And I suppose that's a consequence of what happened decades ago where we did treat people like shit.
I just had to say this straight. Let's be clear. What we're hearing right now, there's trauma, right? And
Yes.
this is triggering.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
And so what we're going off of our reality, what's happened and what continues to happen, it causes us as human beings to become defensive. It causes us to become protective. It causes us to become things that we're not.
But it
we weren't
shouldn't.
born to, and it shouldn't.
shouldn't.
Exactly.
Like I should not have to
Exactly.
stay inside my house and become
That-
an
and I heard
introvert.
him.
And it's like, why can't I enjoy my freedoms? I'm a tax-paying American. I mean, I know I'm a felon and I can't have certain, you know, rights, but when does my fear of you guys impede me from living my life as a free American?
I'm only 30 years old, so I'm dealing with the consequences of what people have done in the past. But it's like, I'm not like that. So it's like, I get the trauma, but it's also like, I'm trying to change it. Allow me to change it.
You know what? I do have to say something like the cops from the 90s are very different from the new cops because now they got a whole bunch of different races. Before, it was mostly whites. Yeah, so that's what I had to deal with in the 90s. But now it's a little different, I could say that.
Can the disagreeer step forward?
I agree with this gentleman here about the job has danger factors. Coming across people out in the field and patrol, I didn't fear them because I treated them with the utmost respect. And I treated them the way I would want my family to be treated if they were on the other end being stopped. I've had arrestees after going to the jail and processing them, get them food, whatever. A handful would say, you know what, thank you for treating me with the utmost respect.
I honestly I live in anxiety every day. Every time I see a black and white cop car,
I get it.
every time I see red
I
and
get
blue
it.
lights,
I totally
a
get it.
uniform, I hear a little too much keys. I hear I just don't, little noises that come with your guys' uniforms. I sat up here for 15 minutes and was going to turn around because I did not want to be in a room with 4 people that wore that badge. And it's come to that much of a broken trust because I am the most friendliest human that you'll meet. I trust everything, even a stranger walking. As soon as I see a uniform, I'm totally guarded, and I live in anxiety because of it. Me, with my parole, I could show license, registration, insurance with a smile. Oh, why you got a parole till 2036? Step out of your vehicle. Next thing you know, my little tiny belongings are on the side of the curb, and it's not even getting put back together. And then I'm late for work. Now I got to explain to a job that hired a felon why I'm late because someone had a pissy day and they saw that I had a parole date. If you don't know my trauma, I don't expect you to evaluate it. But I don't expect a tough tone either because it might trigger me and then we both going to be all types of bitches.
No.
You know, like, what,
Totally.
you know?
Totally get you.
So,
What I want to know is how you guys feel about that we're scared of you guys.
I hate it. Because how do I gauge that? I don't know. I guess I have to continue to ask questions, this and that, third. But I'm like, why the hell? I'm just talking to you. Like, if I saw, like I said,
Because you can only put an animal in a corner for so long before they fight back. But I think that's what the police wants. I think that they want a war. They want us to fight back. Because I wanted to fight back so long until I realized I wasn't that person, and I had to just go my way, like follow the path that God gave me, and I had to leave that alone. But I did have a uglier path that I was gonna follow. But it's like, the cops. It's like you guys make yourself our enemy.
I don't enjoy conflict.
Well, I'm telling you, we're all scared of you. Everybody I know is scared of the police.
When you interact with me or with any of you guys, I'm going to understand who you are as a person. And it kind of goes back to what he had said about match energy with energy,
But if that was the case, I mean, we don't really fear you. We don't. We're not scared. I'm not scared of you one bit. If I had a gun, we could both go at it. We'll do a duel or something like that, and we'll be even. Other than that, I'm not scared of you guys. But it's just the fact that a lot of times we don't have guns, we don't have knives. Like you guys think we're ninjas, that we're just gonna throw a knife or a fork and it's gonna land in your eye, and then you guys, that's not how we live. That's not the reality that we.
That badge gives you guys all the power.
what community are you from? Because I hear twang.
Tennessee.
Okay, so where do you police?
Tennessee.
You police in Tennessee? So do you police in the community you grew up in?
I do.
Okay, so out here in LA, it's pretty different. Okay, our police, like the beat, they might live there for 25, 30 years and live over here now because they've made it out. Or they might actually come from somewhere they wanted to police, but they send them to Long Beach. So a big factor is that badge that you put on, you took a responsibility to know that I don't trust you. We can have commonalities. I probably can't have a commonality with you even if you said that it was your passion, other than if we could get to the way above you, because you're like the bottom of the trickle effect of the system. I need friends way up there.
Yeah.
Once you put on that uniform and that badge, for me, I'm on guard no matter who you are.
You're 100% right. We have a lot of work to do. Shows like this, us coming together and having this dialogue, it's only going to try to get us, not only just a middle ground, but to treat each other as humans. So we have a lot of work to do. I totally get it.
I agree.
Policing is necessary. Policing is necessary.
You don't do it cold like
I
that.
agree with y'all.
You're cold, man.
I agree because I was kidnapped, raped, and tortured, and it was an off-duty LA sheriff officer who was out of jurisdiction playing softball. It was during payphone days. He saw red flags. He was policing. He did his job. He noticed damsel in distress, I guess, and he called local authorities, and the gentleman got a double life sentence due to the horrendous crimes he committed against me. So I do believe that policing is necessary in certain perspectives. However, I'm going to be biased. I think that y'all don't need a police drug me. No. So I do believe that there is a reason and a purpose for your positions.
I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm sorry that it happened to you. I'm a parent, and I have a daughter. I have a mother. I have a sister, and I would never want anything like that to happen. And what you went through was horrendous, and we have checks and balances in place for that. Moving forward with a lot of transparency, I think there are a lot of changes in regards to issues with that. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I personally arrested 2 of our own officers working internal affairs for the crimes that they committed. It didn't go over well, but it had to be done. And those are the checks and balances of transparency that these agencies have in place. So
We are not a healed race of humans. We are not in a healthy place. We haven't been in a healthy place probably ever. But we have to get there. It's not working. It causes more harm than it does good. Because even if 100 police officers do good, it takes that one to do something so atrocious, so bad, that it just wipes all the good away. And it shouldn't. And it shouldn't, but it does. Hungry people are going to steal to eat. And that's the thing. We're not looking at the root causes of stuff. Yes, the 4 of you, what I'm hearing, you sound like really good human beings that have a job or chose a job to maybe you wanted to protect and serve and whatever else and knew that there's bad things that happen, you want to help with that. I understand that, and it's true. But it gets lost and it gets murky when we continue to see the things that happen. Policing is necessary, but it depends on how you police.
I do believe y'all need to be policed as well, though. I believe that you as police officers spend way too much time policing us and not enough time policing each other. And on all the videos, 100% has shown the facts of what partners do. You know, they stand by, they don't police each other. They don't say, hey, stop, bruh, hold up. My homeboys, if I'm acting a fool and they know my felony, they're gonna stop me. They're gonna say, get back over here, Bonnie. Calm yourself, you got too much to lose. All the videos where there's one gone wild,
We don't do that.
not policing each other.
Right. So to your point.
Senate Bill 2?
Yeah. Well, not only that. Yeah. So yeah, they just enacted duty to intercede, or intervene. Right. So yeah, right now you act a fool and you start acting up, and your partner's there and you just watching. That's not going to cut it. You're going to get jammed up and probably get terminated. Me personally, look, in my 24, 25 years, I spent about
Just
12
made this
years in
channel.
discipline. So I worked internal affairs and I prosecuted cops. So I'm 100% with you. I don't think any of us here would like to have a bad actor or a liar, or a murderer for that meaning, or a rapist, so that in it itself, it's just not tolerated whatsoever because we're trying to do what's good. Is police needed? For me, on a personal note, I had a sister who was molested and raped when she was young, my older sister, and she got heavily into drugs. She's a 27-year veteran of meth and ended up getting arrested. She ended up having to go through the system.
How'd I start streaming?
I
I'll
suppose
switch,
at one
man.
point she got drug
Whatever.
diversion. But all those years that she did drugs, it really affected her physically to the point where she ended up getting ovarian cancer. And so 2 years ago, I lost her to terminal cancer. My nephew, her son, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. He also committed a lot of crimes. And you know what? If it wasn't for the police arresting him and going through the system, he probably will be dead right now. Right now, he committed crimes out here in Los Angeles, and he's now over in another state where he committed more crimes. And now, luckily, thank God that he's actually going through the systems at a halfway house, has been sober for, I think, over a year. So the police, for me, not just internally for what I did, but it's super necessary for others.
I mean, we do need policing in a way, but not this type of policing. No, that's it. It's just, this is not it. We need to find another way. And I don't mean to be funny, but I'm pretty sure you guys, if you haven't seen the movie Judge Dredd, I mean, they get to the point. They don't take nothing personal. They do their job. They get spit on. They get talked back. And the cops just do their job. Well, they're judges, but not cops. But they just do their job. That's it. Nothing personal. It's just business. Because it is a business. Because everything that has to do with the police either has something to do with money or money comes out of it. But that's it. You just got to take the personal stuff out the equation. I think we'll be all right. And I mean, compassion. I mean, it goes hand in hand. But like I said, just do your job and that's it. It don't gotta go nowhere beyond that.
So you're 50-50.
No, no.
You think
we should abolish this policing and start a new way.
But you're for the police as long as it's a better system, is what
No,
you're
I'm
saying.
not for the police. It needs to be something else now. The whole policing, everything that has police in it, just needs to get out the way. It needs to be a new way of going about things.
So if you said you had kids, right?
Hmm.
I have 4. Okay. If my daughter is raped, I need an officer that is willing to be my child's voice and hold the rapist accountable. Okay? I was raped. None of my family believed me. Okay? Nobody. But that one officer that I spoke to, that one cop believed me and made sure that everything was handled appropriately. And charges actually stuck.
I
But what's
need to
the
go
odds
for
of getting that
Games.
one cop? I've lost all hope in 911 and calling cops. I don't care. My community can take care of whatever happens that comes towards my family. And I do believe that y'all need a police in in perspectives, but not how would I say? Not like the badge and the uniform ain't working no more.
We all agree that we need something better.
Nah, I don't agree at all, not one bit. I literally believe like that we should be able to take care of ourselves, fend for ourselves. You know, I mean, when this country.
So if you have a 3-year-old daughter that gets kidnapped or raped, your same situation.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go
How
out.
is she gonna defend herself?
I'm gonna become an automatic criminal and probably face charges for taking matters upon my own hands. I'm gonna fall into the cycle.
And
of,
if you couldn't find the rapist or the kidnapper?
I mean, to be honest with you, like I hate to put it this way, but I've been a victim of crimes that I've solved myself before you guys even got involved. And crimes have happened to me that I've delivered. Literally, I've handed cases to investigators and I've done, you know, my thing. I'm not gonna go out and shoot people. I got too much to lose. But I will do my job and I will do what I gotta do because it's my stuff. My tax dollars are paying for you guys to do absolutely nothing. And when you guys are called, I'm gonna open a beer, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna probably order a pizza. The pizza man will get there before you guys do. You're civil servants of us. At what point did you go from serving us to harassing us? At what point did you go from serving and protecting us to making us inferior to you guys? At what point do we go from the people to, man, we're scared of you guys?
And I hear you. Honestly, I hear you. I hear everything you're saying. And,
I honestly have a better chance
through.
policing myself than I having call you guys.
Well,
honestly.
I'm sorry you went through what you did, okay? I will apologize for us as a whole, but you can't judge all of us.
It's not just you guys. It's a whole history since you guys started. Like in 1777, when this country was built, there was no police.
I have trouble, especially being a black cop, is I have been through what you've gone through, yet when I try to be a better person, every time I talk to somebody with trauma like what you're saying, you judge me based off this, but then expect me not to do the reverse to you, and I don't understand where that disconnect is.
Well, the disconnect.
If I were to treat you like, oh, this is a Mexican on the street, right?
All the time.
I don't know you, so I've never done that. So don't say I've done that, right? But if I were to treat you like that, it would be an issue. Why do you feel okay to do that? Hey, this is a cop. He's going to do the exact same shit that everybody else did it before. That's not fair to do.
It's not, but it's not fair to come after me when I'm just driving my car.
I don't know you.
The Constitution says that I have the right to enjoy my roads that I pay for with my tax
tax. It says that you have the
dollars.
right to travel. It doesn't say
Yeah, we travel freely. Travel freely,
does not
that's the
mean
key
drive,
word. Travel
right?
freely.
Right, so you can walk wherever you want to go, but you can't drive. That's under the California Constitution. But that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying, I would never.
Pay attention, guys. I want you guys to pay attention, right? I want you guys to pay attention because this is a big problem right here. And he claims that he's not a problem and he's in the middle. But let me point it out to you guys right here where the big flaw is. Every time that I've invoked my rights, this individual has chose to go around and still violate my
That's
rights.
some bullshit.
That?
Okay.
The same persona, the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And it's not.
Can we move on to the last prompt because
Yeah,
it feels like
let's
it's
go
not
to the
going
next
anywhere.
prompt.
Yeah, locking people up doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, middle ground. Punishment is the response to everything. By punishment, I mean throwing somebody into a system that does not address anything, any of the issues that the person might have had, the communities have, people with substance issues, mental health issues, poverty issues. Let's be clear, poverty is a crime, right? But people are getting locked up for it because they're trying to manage and eat and survive and just do, you know. And so we're not addressing anything that causes these ills. Okay, let's lock them up and throw away the key. That's the mindset. At least that's how we feel because we lived it and we continue to live it.
Yeah, I think we've gotten
right?
better.
And I feel like that's where now we're getting this
Absolutely.
middle ground and this understanding that it is not the way to do things. It is not the solution.
I feel like we're getting the blame for it when it's a system as a whole. You know, we don't have anything to do with what happens.
But you're part of it.
And well,
Yes.
we are part of it, absolutely.
You're the root of it.
We absolutely agree on that.
You see, that's the thing that you guys say, oh, we're not responsible, but then you say that, oh, we're not like this, but I mean,
Oh, no,
it's
we're
like,
responsible.
No one's taking accountability. That's one thing. I mean, you guys say sorry, you're apologizing for them, but where are they? Like, you know, it's like we never see them.
You're the
Right.
stage before intake. So you're the level before I go in. So when I'm put in handcuffs and going in, my last real human contact is with the person who put the handcuffs on me, and not once has anyone ever just had a compassionate like, hey, I hope to see you. make it out
Oh
of here
my
healthy," or,
God,
"Hey, you
bro.
know what,
You're
I'm
so
We should
fucking
have been
gay.
suspended,
You take dick,
70%
bro.
for God knows how long.
like 80 something.
I'd say probably 80 now. In certain zip codes, in certain locations, it's probably even the 90 or 95%. So from a societal, point of view, absolutely. I think
That man's Dart Goblin doesn't do
locking
shit. He
people up is
fucking
not the key. As
turns
a
for
matter
some
of fact,
reason.
all the prisons that they made in the state of California has been overpopulated for decades.
There's money in recidivism. There's not money in reformation, and that's the problem. Is that you are trapped in a system, and so am I, where it's all about a dollar amount on me, and that's just what it is.
Like, when I got locked up, like, I went in for weed. And when I got out, like, in 2 weeks, I came out, like, knowing how to steal a car. I made more connections with more criminals. I learned how to make a shank. I learned how to hide stuff. Like, I became more criminal going to prison, going to jail. All these, like, you just are surrounded by other people that are doing even crazier stuff than just having weed. So it's like, I came out worse. And each time I will go, I will learn something even worse. So it's like, it just makes you even worse. Like,
Imagine like having a family for 13, 27 years, right? And then you come home and you're told you can't associate with them. Like, those are my friends. And they're home, I'm home. We've relied on each other. Violation, 10-day sit down. Oh, what's your name? It's all about the dollar amount. All my support is stripped because they're felons. What support do I have? Not y'all, not the felons. I'm in the middle line too. Who supports me? My job.
We need some help on both sides at all levels. Going back what you said about financials, yeah, it is. It's at the legislative branch where they need to make these changes, and it's going to trickle down where it affects all of us on both sides. Definitely.
And we have not really brought the elephant to light in this room right now. This system is not ours, right? It was created before any of us here. Was designed to continue a form of slavery, period. The vast majority of the 2.3 million people in American prisons and jails are black and brown people, period.
It's broken, and I don't see our generations being able to fix it.
It's gonna take.
I don't see the next generation, but I will tell you, I will do my part as an individual to uphold and treat everybody with respect, as I'm sure all three of these guys can say as well. I didn't know y'all from Adam. I don't know them from Adam, but here we are. We're having conversations, we're having debates, and I will still treat you guys all with the same respect.
And thank you so much, guys, for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.6 deck. Fuck, fuck this game.
Who want a ticket straight to them pearly gates?
That Marvel token looked really, really awesome. I want to play it. Oh, wait. You know the question I was going to ask you guys? Do you guys want that to have like forward down forwards and quarter circles? Here's a hot take. I don't think a fighting game needs ultra complex inputs to be good. I do think if a fighting game has those difficult inputs already, you kind of need to leave those there because that's the game. I have a lot of favorite games of all time. But many of those favorite games of all time has really simple inputs. You know, you press X, you press
Back in the
square,
goat,
you
though.
press circle. You maybe press like R1 and X at the same time, but it's really simple inputs. But the complexity comes from what you do with those, the timing, the spacing. This is why I don't like Tekken simplification, but I like modern controls. Modern controls still require resource management even more than classic controls because modern controls forces you to burn all of your resources, drive and whatnot, right? Just like Fatal Fury, their simplification control puts you in a position to overheat really fast. And you have to be aware of that and manage that resource so well. But then also there's limitations on what you can do, limitations on range, limitations on input. For Tekken, they don't have any of that. Their simple controls doesn't limit you at all. It gives you all the power with very, very few downsides. You know what's crazy? Tekken is trying to be really scrubby. They want someone who don't even respect the genre to pick up the controller and be able to cook, to try and bring them in. But when you do that, you end up disrespecting all of the people you have, their intelligence. And Street Fighter doesn't do that. Street Fighter,
This is
Fatal
wrong.
Fury, they found this interesting middle ground of like, we're gonna give you some simple controls, we're gonna let you feel
Look
a
at
little
Street
bit of
Fighter 4
power. There is
combos,
some
and then look at
downsides.
this.
You're gonna find out very soon about those downsides. But then also, we're not gonna give you full access. This is just a stepping stone. We want you to get familiar, we want you to get hooked, but then we also want you to realize what you're missing out on, and then that's when you'll switch over to the classic styles, and that's when you start really playing, and you'll and everything you learn will transition. They are trying to add blue sparks to a lot of attacks. Blue spark giant swings, blue sparks Falcon attack, blue sparks on Yoshimitsu's 442. But those blue sparks isn't a huge advantage the way it should be. And I'm not saying like I want these moves to be really powerful. I'm saying that, you know, when you use a easy move in Street Fighter, it has a noticeable difference, and that's what makes you want to do the real input. Humans are playing games for a lot longer. We're typing on keyboards and stuff. Our hands are naturally becoming terrible, worse than what they used to, like as a society. If your game requires some super complex inputs, most people won't be able to play it, just like I wasn't able to play Fatal Fury. So I think that you should make your inputs a little bit more simple, but keep that competitive aspect. I think it's going to play like Dragon Ball FighterZ, auto combo, low damage, manual combo, more damage. If you wanted to do an auto combo, at least make it a combination of buttons, like an X, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle. Because that's how Yoshimitsu's 10 hits combos are. But also, what I'm saying as well could be very controversial. There's a lot of people out there who's like, no, what makes a fighting game is the inputs being difficult. You know, I want to master the input. I think that mastering the input is a cool idea. It took me a long time to master Yoshimitsu's forward down 4-2. I just think every move in a character's arsenal doesn't need to be that way. I'm all for complex inputs as long as it's not SK carpal tunnels type. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like some games do way too much with it. Carpal tunnel speed run. Y'all complaining about Tekken too much? Well, if Tekken is so easy, why does it take the most skill out of every fighting game at the moment. A mid-level Tekken player is way more skilled than a mid-level player of any other fighting game. I'll die on that hill. Ooh. There has been people who's been really good at Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, who switched to Tekken, and then they're confused. They're lost. And I don't know if they're lost because they're in a totally different world, or if they're lost because the game is just throwing so much more at them and they can't comprehend it. Why can't Sonic Fox even compete in Tekken, even though he's actually really good? Because Korea and Pakistan are way better than US? I don't know. I feel like if Sonic Fox wanted to, he could do it. I mean, you have, isn't Ninja
No, he
Killa
couldn't.
another Mortal Kombat player? Bro's on the cuffs of making EWC. Are Blue Ranks good now? Yeah, Blue Ranks is kind of getting good now. Blue Ranks is kind of returning to what it used to be. Comparing scale is silly. Chess is more complex game than ice hockey. That doesn't mean ice hockey players are less skillful than a chess champion. Well, see, now I feel like we're entering into the conversation of what that Fortnite guy was saying. Before we even listen to what he says, let's just analyze it ourselves. First off, Fortnite is a shooting game that has a lot of complex movement, right? So it's equal to, if not greater than, all of the other shooting games because it does the same thing. But then when you add building on top of that, it's a totally different thing. So I think it's definitely more complex than every shooting game out there. But when you start talking about fighting games, because fighting games was all over this, they was like, wait a minute, well, you're saying Fortnite's most complex? What about Tekken? Okay, so now let's listen.
I think right now, I think Fortnite is like one of the highest skill gap games that there of all time, probably.
What do you mean by that for the viewers?
Like you could take another game and take the best player, and let's say for a stupid concept like he restarts his life and only plays Fortnite, he could just be the middle of the
Really?
Can we analyze how these guys look the same? Same hair, same shirt, same pants. When I first seen this, I was like, wait, what? Okay, focus though.
The skill gap is so high and the players are so good that like some random Joe Schmo that's like a pro at another game could hop on Fortnite like he's got no shot.
He doesn't say it's the most complex. He says the highest skill gap, which I agree with. Yeah. That's the point, right? It's like, so basically, let's put it like this, right? Arslan and Need are the best players, right? If Arslan and Need restarted their lives over and instead of playing Tekken, they played Fortnite. Basically, Tfue is saying that they wouldn't be able to, it's very unlikely that they would be able to reach pro level because it's because
It's
Fortnite's
a really
like that.
stupid argument, though. You could just say the same thing
With the building and
for
whatnot, but
both.
it does
The
get a
games
little
don't
crazy.
play
It
at all
turns into
like.
a whole different game. But I mean, the same is true for Tekken, right? If you take my gameplay and then compare it to Evo Grand Finals, it's a difference.
Or he could be like average, you know what I mean? Like there's just so many more players and so many like good players that like the top guys are like insane.
But you can't catch them.
To speak to his point, remember the one of the creators, what's his name? Black guy. He's was like one of the only black Fortnite streamers at the time. He was one of the pioneers for building. But then once everyone else saw what he was doing and started to do it themselves, they immediately overshot him. He immediately became some scrub who can't build, and everyone else was cooking him. That's kind of what bro's talking about.
Good players that like the top guys are like insane.
But you can't catch them. Like you can't like.
No. So there's actually something that just recently happened. Is there's a guy, Ron Stable Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He's a kind of vlogger, live streamer now. He challenged one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, to a 1v1. His opponent would start with 99 deaths, and he would start with like 1 life. So all he's gonna do is kill him once, and this kid has to kill him 100 times.
I saw this actually.
He didn't kill him once.
No way.
He died 100 times.
No way.
That's how good that's how good these good players are.
Myth is the guy. Yeah, Myth is the name. I think it loops well into our conversation that we were having about Mortal Kombat people not being able to compete, and then that loops back into our conversation of like, do they make it inputs difficult and complex? Because I mean, when you go back, let's circle back full circle now. Fortnite has a really simple input structure, but their simple button layout create one of the highest skill gap games on the planet. And that's my point with like making inputs unnecessarily difficult is not necessary to reach satisfying level of gameplay. And I mean, honestly, it really shouldn't be a hot take because most Tekken characters follows this format already. I mean, Dragunov isn't a character who's considered difficult input wise. Neither is Yoshimitsu, Asuka, Lily. I mean, we could go down the whole list of names, and there's many characters who have very straightforward inputs. It's really only a few who has really bizarre inputs, and it's kind of their identity. But I don't think, now let's go back full circle, I don't think Marvel Token needs to make their inputs really, really difficult to provide a satisfying level of gameplay. They just have to think about what type of experience they want to offer, but also think about, the pre-existing fighting game players and how, if they want to bring those guys in and what those guys want out of the game. But then also when you talk about that, you then have to consider which characters you apply this difficult nature to.
You could go into a game versus like one of the best players in the world, and like, dude, we could give you like a month, and like you just wouldn't kill him.
Whoa.
Where like if you go into a Call of Duty lobby versus like the best COD player in the world, dude, you're gonna kill him.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not gonna touch these kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel this way. If I played against Knee 100 times, I probably could win one, especially in Tekken 8. Do you guys think so? Do you guys think if you played against Knee 100 matches, do you think you could get one win? I played against a couple of pros. I played against Shinblade and I won one match out of the set. I played against Buff Guy and I won the set. I played
This guy
against
is
Fighting
not a
Jim
pro.
like 8 sets and I struggled to. But see, I could have beat Fighting Jim in one match. One match, I got 2 rounds. I was very close to getting 2 rounds and I threw both of them and I already had a round. If I didn't throw both of them and I already had that round, I would have won that one match. Right? And that's all that you need. All you need is the one match out of the 100. In Tekken 8, yeah. In any previous Tekken, no. Yeah, see, I probably agree with that. If we're talking about Tekken 7, I don't know if I get one game off of Knee.